watching Gaming Malta TV and we are broadcasting at ICE in London. Today's panel of discussion is all about talent within the industry. I'm joined by Roderick, who is Head of Employment Branding at Betson Group. I'm joined by Marie, who is CHRO of Hero Gaming. That's you, isn't it? You're Hero Gaming. No, you are Hero Gaming. So I did get it right. I am going to carry on. And then I'm also joined by Michaela, who is CHRO from Jackpot Joy. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Now, we're obviously here at ICE, which is an absolute mecca of talent. How's the show been so far for you?
Well, I've just arrived, so...
Arrived and flustered,
Yes,
which is great, always in a rush.
It looks like it's happening here, you know, so...
How about for you, Roderick?
I mean, it's been growing year after year. I've been here now for the third or fourth consecutive time. And yeah, I mean, even the amount of stands and the sophistication of the stands themselves, I think it keeps getting greater year after year.
It's impressive, isn't it?
I think it's become almost mythical. So it's the place to be every year. I would appreciate if we could see more around talent, around HR, which is where I really appreciate this discussion going on. But it's been a really fantastic 2 days so far.
Excellent. And what kind of challenges are you guys seeing within talent and within employment?
Okay, so basically, I think one of the challenges is that the pool is quite limited, I would say, Malta. Not really limited, but the market is saturated. We are at a stage where we keep taking each other's people. So I think one of the challenges is looking beyond our rocky shores and finding avenues, finding different avenues on where and how we can actually get to the talent that we need to have on board.
How about for you, Roderick?
I mean, all of that.
Yeah.
So and then automatically you start looking at different alternatives, as you said, be it with opening an office elsewhere, or perhaps allowing more of remote working, so that you don't actually need office space. So yeah, I mean, it's a mixture. Certain roles you'll find very easy to actually recruit and bring them over to Malta.
Yeah.
Other roles where you require a bit more senior people. They become tricky because also of the infrastructure of Malta, which I'm sure we'll talk about perhaps later on as well.
I think something that we've maybe not paid enough attention to in the HR field in the past has also been not only the geographic expansion, so not only looking out of our four walls of Malta or UK or wherever we have our offices based, but also looking at the different levels we can bring individuals into the organisation and be ready to invest in their growth upwards. That is often something that we overlook because it's easier to just get someone off from the market who's ready in the box that you want them to be. But we are now suggesting we go for individuals who need a management development program for them to get to where we want to. That takes time and it takes investment and it takes courage for an organisation to go down those routes.
And what kind of skill sets are you guys looking for at the moment within the fields?
Skill sets.
Yeah, sort of what opportunities are there, I suppose?
So it's various, obviously, but there are areas like compliance, which is really growing. A lot of us are beefing up the team there to make sure that we're up to date with the regulations that are coming out. But also when it comes to developers, we all know it's not only our industry which in fact struggles with the recruitment of developers. And then also it's language-driven skills which we might struggle with, because if you're looking, for example, I can't take Hero Gaming, we've just applied for the Danish license, the Spanish license, so recruiting the language for language-specific roles is where it becomes a bit more challenging, certainly.
And talking about sort of investing in talent, like what kind of programs or training do you have in place within your companies to help people relocate, for example, to Malta, or to get them to, to another country?
Okay, so something on what maybe Michaela, just to ride on to what she said, I haven't been in the industry for that long. I come from the tech industry, but quite new to the gaming industry. And one thing that I noticed was when I came in was that there are maybe a lot of people with a lot of potential, but they hadn't been given yet the opportunity to grow and develop in their field. So definitely investing in not only management development programs, but also professional development programs, because some people might not want to be developed into a managerial role. So coming up with programs which are specific to the individual, both in terms of their specific skill and also in terms of their own personal and professional development, has been definitely one of our priorities at Hero.
No, we have a lot of success stories as well, kind of on what you both were talking about. People who started entry-level jobs at customer support who made it all the way to the top.
Okay.
So, I mean, Betson has been around now for 55 years. So last year we celebrated our 55th anniversary, and in Malta we've been now since 2004. So we were one of the very kind of early starters in Malta. So we have such success stories that we can easily talk about. And we also see a lot of people from our customer service department who make it, I mean, within 6 months, they're in a different department of the organization. It's quite a large chunk of it.
Yeah.
And also in terms of internal positions as well. So we're as well promoting that quite a bit. And we have a lot of people who apply for it. And a lot of people, quite a large percentage, who actually make it to the promotion or to the lateral move or what have you. So that's it's a good way.
It's very interesting also to see when you buy into certain individuals' commitment, you will see them fly. You will see them running through the ranks, going up the ladder faster than you can ever imagine. Also because of the general atmosphere of the industry being so fast moving, being so agile, being so fast paced, you cannot afford individuals who are ready to sit down in their position and say, hey, I'm good for another 20 years here. You might want them for certain roles, but the majority are people who are ready to fly. Let's plug whatever we need to. Let's develop you, let's train you, let's relocate you. The initiatives that Gaming Malta put forward are always immensely helpful for us to put Malta on the map. Although we have offices around the globe, as Jack put joy, we do try to keep our headquarters within Malta. And these are some of the challenges that we need to face if we want to keep it that.
Absolutely. And let's just talk about Malta specifically for a second. How do you help employees who are going to relocate to Malta, for example? What kind of things are available for them?
Yeah. So, for example, in our case, we make it a point for individuals to familiarize themselves not only with the role, because we like to make it a point that the interview is always a two-way process. You are interviewing us, you are interviewing the island, as much as we are interviewing you. So the initial visit, we fly people over. They stay for 3 to 4 days during the interview process. The initial process is, we like to make it as realistic as possible. There is no staying at 5-star hotels pretending that this is all what it is, because that is not what it is. It is the noisy streets, it is the hustle and bustle of a Mediterranean climate. We make it a point for people to familiarize themselves, go out with individuals who are either of the same nationality or will be living in the same area with them, making it a point as well to offer literature that helps them understand a little bit about the island. There are very different cultures which we are melting into one pot.
And is that one of the challenges, or is that kind of, does that make it easier in a way? What talk to me about the culture.
It's both the most beautiful and the most difficult part of our job, I would say.
I think it makes it easier in a way as well, because they can see that people from their own country actually did move to Malta, that make Malta their home, and many actually do say, I will never leave Malta. Yeah. So that's a very positive thing. Which is amazing, exactly. So that's the good thing about kind of, even when you fly people over for an interview, you get them to meet with these people because they can answer your questions. Yeah. I mean, if you're German and in Germany certain things work in this way, you can ask, okay, how is it in Malta? And the German guy will be able to tell you much easier how it compares between Malta and Germany, or between Malta and Sweden, or what have you. So.
And why do we think that so many people are attracted to Malta, say, for example, in the younger people who are sort of starting out in the industry? What are the sort of reasons that they're attracted to Malta, do you think?
I think it's definitely, so if we're looking at people coming from Nordic countries, the climate does help. Yeah. And Malta is quite a safe country as well, so it's easier for them to come and settle down. And as well, there's quite a large expat community, so they come here and they find the family in the friends that they make. And I'm sure it's the case with both your companies, but we also organize a lot of activities for them, which makes the transition of settling in much easier.
And they love them because, I mean, you give them purpose. I mean, most of the times they just mingle between themselves, sort of, you know, and their own housemates. So once you actually create an event, people actually do turn up and they really love it. I mean,
And why do you think Malta's kind of appealing as well to the C-suite management areas? Would you say that they are, or is there more work to be done there?
I think. Sorry. I think there's more work. I mean, because usually these people are perhaps a bit more mature. They want to come to the island with their family. Schooling is a bit on the tricky side, you know. So one of the common questions would be, okay, how does education work? Where can I kind of enroll my children? I mean, there's a long waiting list.
No, sure, yeah, I can imagine. Yes.
So
We're lucky that the standard of living is quite high in Malta, and I think we underestimate what it means to live in a country with so much sunshine and so much safety. But the infrastructure needs to keep up with us.
In fact, most of our senior people who are there with their families and who have probably come to Malta in their younger days, you know, and now have built their own families. For them, it's, as I said before, and as also Michaela said, it's a safe zone because they like the idea of bringing up their children in Malta.
What more would you like to see Malta do, for example, to kind of overcome these challenges?
I think the main concern is actually education, because healthcare we're really, really good. I mean, the climate is there, safety is there, standard of living is there as well. So I think it's educational.
Education, I would say housing.
Housing as well.
We really need to be careful about the housing because we're starting to hear more and more the pains that an individual goes through to actually relocate. We've had people who come, try to find housing and then leave us because they didn't manage. So it's not easy.
There's always sort of isolated examples, aren't there, in terms of like it works for some people, it doesn't work for everyone, and it is, you know, a lot of it is kind of right place, right time, luck. Yeah. Things being successful with you know getting houses or them falling through. It's sort of part and parcel, really, isn't it? And so, if you've got any advice for people who are wanting to break into the industry, what should they be doing? Where can they go to sort of find out about opportunities?
So I think there are so many avenues. So social media, you know, looking up and researching separate companies, because we all have our vacancies on our websites. There are a lot of recruitment portals that we use to recruit, and I think most importantly is that it's important for candidates to know that we're not only looking for people within the gaming industry.
Sure,
you know, we look
external.
at people which are coming from other industries. So, but there are so many avenues.
I mean, we're talking about social media, especially being, if we had to put our finger, I would say social media would be the place where everyone would go. And then obviously informal contacts. Hey, I'm seeing you've liked this page. What do you think about it? What do you think?
And the referrals as well are working quite a bit. Referrals, so people who, I don't know, bring over their friends or family members, that's working quite well. And they usually kind of tend to settle a bit easier as well, sort of. I mean, if they have their friends over in Malta already.
Sure. And so, Roderick, obviously you're head of employment branding. Talk to me a little bit about what that entails and how you manage to make that a reality.
No, so the idea of employer branding is kind of positioning Batson as an employer of choice on the island. As we said earlier, there's a lot of competition in terms of talent, so there's a war on talent in a way. So it's providing that Batson has the best kind of employment out there, the best perks, the best benefits, but not just that, because more or less we're all on the same lines nowadays. But we're also investing a lot on leadership, for example, on training and development. So we partnered with the Swedish Economic Business School, and they actually made a whole course for us, specifically for Batson. And it's a 4-module course for our people managers. Because many people actually do leave companies, not because of the company, but because of their manager. So people choose managers rather than choosing companies. So we're investing a lot in making sure that our people managers know exactly what they're doing, how they should lead their teams, and all of that.
A team's everything at the end of the day, and it's those that you're working directly with that you want to have a really good relationship with. Now, we're running out of time a little bit, but I just want to touch on innovation, which is obviously the theme for this year. How are you staying ahead of the trend with innovations within the workplace to keep your employers, to attract new employers?
Okay, so starting from maybe a more important element, but it helps to set the foundation for innovation. We've done a lot of work on our culture. 2018 was big for us in terms of culture and strengthening our culture. And one of our values is daring. So our employees are challenged to think differently and to. It's okay to fail and make mistakes, we'll pick up the pieces together, learn from them and move forward, and just giving that space for people to come up with ideas.
Excellent. And how about you, Roderick?
We've as well actually shaped our strategy and our values. So the three pillars that we're looking at is talented people, so that's one of our main pillars. That's the quality product, that's a lot of innovation over the past 12 months. We really improved all the different features within our own sports book, within our casino and live casino, etc. And the other one is operational excellence, where we're trying to really, be efficient across the board.
Excellent. And how about with you?
I think, feeding off of what my colleagues mentioned, listening and keeping a finger on the pulse of the organisation is really helping us in driving forward ideas that you can only get when you're 25 years old in an island, left your family behind, interested in tech, interested in product. These are the people that we need to listen to. It is no longer, I think, one of maybe our most worthy learning points for the past year is that it is no longer a top-down approach towards this is what we want from our people, this is what the culture needs to look like, this is what the strategy needs to look like. Forget it.
Yeah, and just finally, I wanted to get two reasons in sort of two words why people should come to Malta and sort of see what it has to offer.
Opportunity and fun.
Roderick?
You took my words. No, I think I'm going to steal one of your words as well, opportunity, because Malta has a lot to offer. And as a person who even just finished your schooling and coming over to Malta, there's loads of opportunity. And getting to also mingle with professional people.
I'd say the lifestyle, and feeding off of the lifestyle would be the interesting experience that you will get no matter what level you choose and no matter where you are in the industry. You will get definitely an interesting lifestyle and an interesting experience.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great ICE 2019. And if you'd like to see any more videos, then please do click on the link below and you can watch more from Gaming Malta TV.